So, good evening. I'm just in time. Yeah. So, hello. In my garden, there are tons of apples at the moment. Here, the climate is really good for apples. Hi, Count Beauty. Thanks for saying hi, because you made me look at the time, and I didn't realise how it was getting on. The time was getting on. Okay, so hi Malem as well, nice to see you, and hi Cheyenne, good to see you too. Good evening, Naif. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do exactly what we were doing the other day, last week. It's this BBC article, and there'll be a link to it in the description. Let's see, this is the one we finished on. Yeah, definitely. But the problem is there are too many. Probably 1,000 kilos of apples, something like that. Poof, 5 or 6 different ones. Reineta. You see, I only know the Spanish for them. And there's this typical Galician one, which when you peel it, it's got like this pink tinge to the outside. Good evening, Abira. But I can't eat 1,000 kilos of apples. So Shalom Renyard, good to see you. There are also cooking apples as well. But the apple trees were here when I first came. Okay, so this is the one we actually, the last one we did last time, and you've just got to find the right word to fit in the gap. So they are a remarkably fine family who lost 2 sons to, it was knife crime, in 6 months, and a cousin 5 years ago. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh says he'd had to cancel the meeting with Mr Mohamed's relatives 2 days earlier because of the Barnet case. I felt awful, he said. So, good evening, Ronan. Good to have you with us. And Vitaly, what's up, mate? Okay. Yeah, knife crime. That was the answer from last time. So, yeah, we're going to get straight down to it. I think if we're lucky today, we'll actually get to finish the article. We'll see. So, yeah, it was knife crime. All different kinds. Yeah, poor family, absolutely. Ha! Bon tarde. That's very good. I would say buenas tardes, but he speaks Brasileiro. So, 10 days later, the trial is over. Hello, Jerry. Erick Ekam, 19, is found guilty of Mr Mohamed's murder and sentenced, convicted, jailed, incarcerated to life with a minimum of 17 years. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh describes Ekam as a wicked, dangerous man, but flatters, praises, cheers, kudoses Sgt Ebbs and the cyclist, who receive commendations for bravery. So, I should become a cider seller. That's not a bad idea. So Vitaly goes sentence, Cheyenne goes sentence, Count goes jailed, Roland goes sentence, Human goes sentence, Hadi goes sentence. Good evening, Hadi. Abira goes sentence, and Count has changed to sentence as well. Roland goes sentence. Thank you very much, the overtrained. Yeah. Sentence to life. And then for the second one, okay, so we're all going sentenced for this first one. The key word here is sentenced to. He's convicted. What's the preposition with convicted? Jailed. What's the preposition with jailed? And incarcerated, apart from the meanings. Okay, so convicted, jailed, incarcerated. Okay, so let's see, let's look at, well, definitely sentenced is the right idea. Jailed for life, that's the idea left or right. He's jailed for life. He's convicted definitely jailed for life, definitely Jerry. And you're right, Manuf, good. Hi Manji, great to see you, thanks for your kind regards. Convicted of, jailed for, and incarcerated for as well. Okay, so it's got to be sentenced. Notice convicted of, but he's convicted of murder. Yeah? Yeah, you convict somebody of a crime and then you sentence them to a punishment. And he'd be jailed for life or incarcerated for life with a minimum of 17 years. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh describes Ekam as a wicked, dangerous man, but flatters, praises, cheers, kudoses Sgt Ebbs and the cyclist. So we got lots of answers here. Haddy goes flattered. Yeah. So what has left right said here? Okay. No, jail doesn't work. He was jailed for life, not to life. He was jailed for life. Yeah, that's the point. Actually, it doesn't. Jailed for life. So, Haddy goes flattered. Renyard goes praises. Count Buter goes kudoses. Yeah, it's got to be sentenced to. Yeah, jailed for life. Sentenced to. Jailed for. Vitalia. Convicted of. Yes, convicted of murder. Jailed for. Good, 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 good. Well done, Manji. That's the right answer. Okay, so to sentence is the punishment. He was sentenced to 3 years in jail. He was convicted of murder. He was convicted of theft, convict of a crime, and condemn is the same as sentence in this case. He was condemned to spend life in jail. So Haddy goes praises for this next one. Abira goes praises, Jerry goes praises, Roland goes praises. Yes, that's my account, Nave. It won't be connected until after the stream because it can interfere with the stream. Okay, Maruf goes praises, Gabrielle goes praises, yes, Ronan goes praises, everybody's going praises. Okay, so praises is the right idea. To praise, that's very good. Okay, so kudoses, no, kudos is only a noun. Kudos is reputation for doing something good, yeah? You get a lot of kudos for winning an Olympic medal, admiration, estimation. If he flatters Sgt Ebbs and the cyclist, he probably doesn't really mean it. Yeah, to flatter you've got a second objective. And cheers, well, Ray! The crowd cheered. Maybe he cheered them up as well. Okay, he was incarcerated in a very small prison cell with 16 other people. Okay, accolade, kudos, yes, but it's not a verb. Yes, praise and compliment. No, they're not. So to compliment somebody on something, to say that they've done something well, but also a compliment, to say something nice about somebody. Praise is always you've done a good thing. So normally Count Beauty, yeah, kudos to you. Yeah, or it's kudos for you. Yeah, but normally we don't put it. He gained a lot of kudos by getting the right answers. Yeah, I like that. Cheerleaders. Ray, ray, ray. Yeah, those are the cheerleaders. Okay, so yeah, in this case, definitely to praise. Accolade, as Vitali said, for kudos is an accolade. You've done something really well. You've done really good work. Okay, so let's see. And time to read the next one. Yay, yay, yay. Some knife carriers rely on a street culture of no snitching to daunt, dissuade, frighten, warn witnesses from speaking out, he says. Here we have amazing members of the public whose commendable actions had been critical to obtaining this conviction. So notice, critical, to is the preposition, and therefore we've got ing. So, daunt, dissuade, frighten or warn. I quite like this one. So, Roland goes frighten, Vitaly goes dissuade, Count Beauty goes frighten, Cheyenne goes dissuade, Jerry goes dissuade, Human goes frighten, Pedro Silva goes dissuade, Gabriel goes dissuade, VG says frighten or daunt. They're both good synonyms, daunt slightly more formal than frighten. Abira goes frighten, Mlem goes dissuade, Left-Right goes dissuade, Manji goes for daunt. Snitches get stitches. I love it. Yeah, to snitch is to inform on the authorities, to tell on. Maria, yeah, I can still remember that Korean name, goes for frighten. Filani goes for dissuade, Renyard goes for frighten. Okay, in my opinion, 3 of these fit, but one of these is the best answer. Okay, to warn is to advise somebody that something is dangerous, but to warn witnesses about not speaking out, I would say. So dissuade is the opposite of persuade. To dissuade, Roland, means to persuade somebody not to. Good evening, Adam. Okay, so to daunt and to frighten. I think both of these fit. I think daunt is more formal than frighten. But my favourite answer is to dissuade. To dissuade is to persuade somebody not to do something. Dissuade is by far the best. Yeah? Let's see. Yes, they are frightening them and daunting them, but they're using that to dissuade them from speaking out. Yeah? Good evening, Maria. Frighten could be a second option. Frighten and a third option is daunt. Thank you very much, Katia. Okay, so to dissuade somebody from doing something. Can I dissuade you from doing this? Frighten, daunt and scare, synonyms. Yeah? But here dissuade is just a better word. Yeah? Doctors try to dissuade patients from smoking. Yeah, absolutely. To intimidate, yeah, that's to daunt or to frighten. Yes, I like that, Ditali, to talk them out of. So, yeah, if they're going to snitch, then they talk them out of it. Yeah, to talk somebody out of something, absolutely. Warn doesn't work at all, no. Discourage would also work. Yeah, okay, and let's try the next one. For witnesses in other investigations who are wobbling, toppling, balancing, wavering on whether to speak to the police, just look at the difference you could make to a family and our community. It's truly life-changing. Do not listen to the slogans, speeches, politics, rhetoric of the gangs. So, Vitaly, Cheyenne, Mlem and Human go for wavering, so does Count Beauty. Vitaly and Cheyenne go for rhetoric. Abira goes for wavering on, left-right wavering. Mlem goes rhetoric as well. Okay, we got some good words here. Maria goes for wavering, Filani goes for wavering and Roland goes for wobbling. Okay, and so let's see if we get a few more. Wavering and rhetoric for left or right. Okay, so let's see. To wobble. My table is wobbling. I've got a tooth that's wobbling, yeah? They're wobbling. No, wobbling is something physical. Yeah, my wheel is out of alignment and it's wobbling. Yeah, my chair is wobbling. I think it's going to collapse. It's moving backwards and forwards. Yeah, something out of kilter, out of balanced. Balancing too. I don't like balance. I don't like balancing in this one. So are balancing. They're balancing the pros and cons on whether to speak to the police or not. To topple is to move backwards and forwards just before it falls over. To topple a tree, to cut down a tree. Okay, so the answer is to waver. Wavering. If you're wavering, you waver between, do I do this or do I do that? Shall I choose the blue one or the red one? I'm wavering. I can't decide. So, I'm wavering about it. Yeah? Okay, so he's wavering. He's not certain. So here, they're trying to decide whether to do it or not. And then, it is truly life-changing. Do not listen to the slogans of the gangs. Here, my desk is wobbling, physical, absolutely. Here, wavering, undecided, that's it. Toppling, no. To topple means to make fall over. He toppled the tree. The glass is toppling. I think it's going to fall over. It's moving backwards and forwards and about to fall over. He was toppling on the edge of the cliff. Okay, and so we've got lots of answers for rhetoric, very definitely. A fat duck wobbling. Yeah, actually the verb count beauty is to waddle. And I'm sure that is linked to wobble. Okay. Yes, if one of the legs of a table is shorter, it wobbles. That's very good. So notice, Pedro, rhetoric has to be singular. Not normally rhetoric, just rhetoric without the S. Opinions appear to waver. Yeah, from one side to another. So, okay, oscillating, that's very good, or oscillating on whether to speak. I like that, toppling and oscillating. So, Maria, as well, notice, rhetoric, normally rhetoric is uncountable. So the rhetoric, the political rhetoric of our leaders, and very definitely, rhetoric is the right answer. But no S. So, the speeches of the gangs. You stand up and make a speech. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here tonight to celebrate the wonderfulness of English. Yes, Mlem, I love it, to equivocate, to waver. That's very good. Do not listen to the politics. They don't have... the gangs don't have a political position. They want to make fun and money. And a slogan is a short set of phrases to represent something. Save the whale. Clunk, click every trip. Reuse, recycle. Something like that. Vacillating as well. I like it. So the answer is definitely rhetoric. Yeah, a slogan's a short phrase that represents something, that shows it in clearly, but in a few words. So, wow, we're now down to the next one. That's very good. I like vacillating. I like vacillating, oscillating, and equivocating. Equivocating is a very good word, Mlem. Okay, so any second we'll get the next one. Slogan, soundbite, I love it. Or you have a demonstration, you have a piece of cardboard with a slogan on it. No to the Prime Minister. What's the slogan? Hi there, students. I think actually, left, right, I'd call it my catchphrase. Yeah, because a catchphrase is normally something a performer always uses. Nice to see you, nice. I bet none of you know who that is. That's the horrible Bruce Forsyth from the 1980s. Okay, so Saturday. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh works from home. He has to make sure his team are dealing with the growing amount of CCTV material that's been collected in the Maureen Whale case, and that items seized from the scene have been sent for analysis, scrutiny, evaluation, assessment. So this one's interesting. Good evening, Tomek. Cheyenne goes for scrutiny, Tomek goes for evaluation, Vitaly goes for assessment, and Count Beauty goes for analysis. I love it. Gabriel says analysis. Thank you, Roland. The vernacular. The vernacular is slang, yeah? Speaking in the vernacular. Human goes analysis, Abira goes analysis, scrutiny for Jerry. Rip Bruce. R.I.P. Bruce. Yeah, Bruce is long gone nowadays. Okay, Malem goes for analysis, Jerry goes for scrutiny, Roland goes for analysis, Leferite goes for analysis. Probably looking at these, they all fit, but I think one of these is probably better. So Maria goes for evaluation, Ronan goes for scrutiny. Okay, so let's look at this. To scrutinize, scrutiny is when you look at something carefully and check that it's okay, that it's correct. Yeah? Scrutiny is looking at something very hard. Yeah? It's more like a checking process. Evaluation, yeah, you could evaluate it. You have a look at these items. Yeah, you could assess them as well. Are they good or bad? But here, this is analysis. Yeah, they're going to be sent to a laboratory for forensic analysis. They will be scrutinized, or they will be under the scrutiny of a scientist. Yeah, who will evaluate and assess them, and then he will do in-depth analysis to look at all the different things. So analysis, it's definitely analysis. Analysis is the scientific word. Yeah, a scientific analysis. All of the analysis is measurable, whereas the others are maybe more subjective. Analysis is more objective. Okay, well done, Maria. The exams are supposed to provide a basis for the assessment of children. Yeah, their evaluation. Absolutely, Adam. Okay, so the results of the post-mortem examination are studied closely. It gives the cause of Ms. Whale's death, remember Ms. politically correct, not Mrs. or Miss, Ms. Whale's death, as coronary heart disease. She had not been assaulted. Police later say her death was fetched, led, driven, brought on by the stress of the break in, down, into, through. So here, is it fetched on, led on, driven on, brought on? And is it a break in, a break down, a break into, or a break through? So let's see. Vitaly goes for brought on, Mlem goes for brought on, Leferite goes for brought on and break in, Human brought on by Count Beauty, break in for Human, brought by Cheyenne, break in for Count. Abira says brought on. Yes, thank you, Jerry. Analysis more quantitative. For scrutiny is more qualitative. Yes, that's the idea. So Manji goes for driven on. Mlem goes for a break-in. Gabrielle goes for driven break-in. And Hadi goes for led. Okay, so let me do this first one. Let me give you a few more seconds. So Abira goes break down, Filani goes brought on, Vitali goes break in, Roland goes brought on, and Shayas goes for driven and break into, Maria brought on break down, Maria, the other Maria, the Korean Maria, brought on. Hadi says down. Okay, for the second one, break down. Roland says break in. Roland says break in. Ronan says driven. Manji goes break down. Brought on, break down for Rainyard. Ronan break in. Brought on by Tomek. And Jerry goes led. Okay, in the first one, the phrasal verb is to bring on. To bring on means to cause something. So, global warming has been brought on by man's burning of fossil fuels. Here, the heart attack was brought on by the shock of seeing the burglars in her house. The accident was brought on by faulty brakes. Okay, so to bring on, to cause. Let's see, to fetch on, no, to fetch is to go get something and come back. No phrasal verb, fetch on. To lead on, you lead somebody on, you make them believe that they're going to get something, but then they're not. So the boss was always telling me to work harder because I was going to get a pay rise, but I never got a pay rise in the end. He was just leading me on. To drive on, to push. Yeah, the man drove the donkey on with a whip. Yeah, but to bring on, to make happen, to cause. And then the stress of, so let's look at these. So a breakthrough is a discovery, a scientific breakthrough. Yeah, they made a great breakthrough. A breakdown, you could have a nervous breakdown. The car has broken down, it doesn't work properly. But normally if you break down, this is emotional. Yeah? A break-in is a burglary. Yeah? So the right answer is break in. But the burglars or the robbers break into a place. So a break-in, phrasal noun. The robbers broke into the building. Okay, so yes, we got lots of answers. Breakdown is a nervous breakdown. Yes, exactly. And she didn't have a nervous breakdown. I guess you might say her heart broke down, but it was brought on. It was caused by the stress of the break-in. So to bring on, to cause, and a break-in, a robbery, where the burglar comes into somebody's house. Yeah, break-in, absolutely, Anna G. Okay. Break-in, yes, Manji, well done, good work. And so, we're going to get another one in a second. Okay, we're doing quite well. The next one's easy. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh continues to make calls throughout the day as detectives carry out, do, more house in house, house to house, house on house, house along house inquiries. The weekend is a brilliant opportunity to do that, he says, as people who aren't home during the week are back. The child had a breakdown in the shop. Okay, yes. So to break into, somebody breaks into a place, Naif. So let's see. Vitaly goes house to house. Human goes 2. Gabrielle goes 2. Count Beauty goes 2. Left or right goes in-house. If you do something in the house, left or right, it means you don't contract it out. So we have in-house legal services, as my wife is a lawyer. Yeah? Cheyenne goes for 2. Yeah. Meltdown. Meltdown's to do with a nuclear reactor, but yeah. Okay, Roland goes house to house, left, right, house to house, Jerry house to house, Maria house to house, Malem house to house, Manji house to house, door to door and house to house. No, they're exactly the same. Although I would probably say it's a door to door salesman, but house to house inquiries. I guess if you're in a block of flats, Human, you have to do door to door. Whereas if you're in an estate that only has houses, then it's house to house. So we're all going from house to house. Yeah, they're moving from house to house. None of the other ones fit. Yeah, house to house. Absolutely, definitely. And as I said, if you do something in-house, you do it internally. We produce the food for the chickens in-house. We grow it ourselves. We don't buy it in. A salesman and a seller. Okay, a salesman is a professional, whereas a seller is just the person selling something. So, for example, if I want to sell my house, maybe I'll use an estate agent who is a salesman, but I am the seller. Yeah? A used car salesman. Yeah, somebody who sells cars, whereas I'm when I sell my car, I'm just the seller. Okay, the next one I definitely like. He writes up a decision log of the investigation. It's a vital record of the key decisions made by the senior investigative officer in a major and complex inquiry, as well as the reasons for the action taken. The log, the list of things, provides an audit, track, trace, trail that can be followed if the case is reviewed or if new material comes to light, to day, to view, to surface. So this one's quite interesting. So let's see. Vitalia goes trace and light. Cheyenne goes trace and light. Count Beauty goes an audit trail, comes to light. Abira goes audit track, comes to light. So a person who sells newspaper is a newspaper salesman. Yeah, absolutely. An audit trail says left or right. Human says a trail. Manji goes track and light. Left right goes light for the centre. Jerry track and light. Human light. Ronan track. Maria track. Hair. Okay, and Tomek goes light. So we're pretty happy about come to light. Left right says comes to the surface. So this is quite interesting. Manji's gone for trail now. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Okay, so an audit track. I am tracking, I am following, I'm trying to follow where something is. I'm tracking this animal, I'm following after it. But I'm following the trail of the animal. So here is an audit trail, a trail of breadcrumbs. Yeah, helps me to track where Hansel and Gretel have been. So the hunter tracks and the animal leaves a trail. So here it's an audit trail. So that you could trace, find out exactly each action at each moment. So it's an audit trail because the trail is are the signs that are left behind for the person to follow or track. Yeah, and then they can they go to the exact the exact details to trace. I'm trying to trace a friend who I haven't seen in many years. So it's audit trail, and very definitely. So in this next one, it comes to view. So it comes into view. No way. It comes today. No. I think it comes to surface. I would say it comes to the surface, but I would use this different. I would say, or if new material surfaces, but to come to light. So if something comes to light, you discover it. It came to light that the accountant had been embezzling the company. New information came to light. Yeah, we found it. We found new information. Okay, so something comes to light. It came to light that he'd been stealing from the company for many years. Okay, so it came to light that he was actually an American spy. Okay, so something comes to light, people discover. So it's a trail, it's an audit trail, very definitely. A trail left behind. Hansel and Gretel left a trail of breadcrumbs so that they could track their way back home. Okay, senior investigating officers are arguably the most accountable officers in the police service. The inquiry rolls, pivots, cruxes, cornerstones around them, and every decision they take, from setting the investigative strategy to managing the crime scene, from liaising with their managers to dealing with the press, is their call and open to survey, probe, scan, scrutiny. Yeah, so yeah, we've definitely got some interesting ones here. So Count Beauty goes rolls, Vitali goes pivots and scrutiny, Gabriel goes rolls, and Count Beauty goes for scrutiny. Left right goes for pivots. And this is interesting. So Count Beauty goes for to survey. I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses on, I was cleaning them. When I get hot they all steam up. Okay, so let's see. Around. So rolls around, pivots around, cruxes around, cornerstones around. Okay, so Abira goes for rolls and Maria goes for pivots. Malem goes for pivot around and scrutiny. Roland goes for rolls around. Okay, so cornerstone. The cornerstone of a building is the stone in the corner that you put down first that supports a building. This is the cornerstone of my strategy. Tourism is the cornerstone of the Spanish economy. But to cornerstone around, no, something's the cornerstone. It's the number one bit. Crux. Well, crux isn't a verb. The crux of the matter, the most important bit. So the crux of the inquiry is who did this? Yeah, who's guilty of it? So the crux of the matter is the price, is what I said to the salesman. The crux of the matter is if I can afford the price. So to roll is to go round and round and round. The ball rolls. Yeah? Whereas to pivot, a pivot is a hinge. And two things hinge. The inquiry hinges on them. It pivots around them. So pivot around, hinge on, absolutely, Malem. Yeah, that's the idea. Good evening, live. So it's not rolls around it, because if something rolls, it's not actually normally connected. It pivots around them. This is pivotal, it's central. Yeah, it's a central point that is immovable. Okay, and then the last one is easy. Cornerstone is a very important stone, or a basic element of something, yeah? Good grammar is the cornerstone of speaking good English. Yeah, Roland, pivotal. Yeah, this is a pivotal point. Yeah, it's essential, it's like the cornerstone. Pivotal is cornerstone, yes, but you don't have to cornerstone as a verb. That's good, Roland. Okay, so open to, yeah, and we've got lots and lots of people saying scrutiny. Okay, if something is open to scrutiny, it's open to people looking at it. Yeah, everybody can look at it, and this is scrutiny. A probe, Maria, is an investigation. So they launched, having carried out scrutiny and seen that there were several things that were unusual, they then carried out a probe, an investigation. Open to scan. To scan is a quick look. No, scrutiny, revolve around, absolutely. Open to scrutiny. Scrutiny is intense looking. And to survey, you ask different people their opinions, so it doesn't work. Yeah, I did a survey about what people preferred. No, it's scrutiny. Open to scrutiny. Many government decisions are not open to scrutiny. Yeah? So if something's under scrutiny, you look at it and decide if it's right or not, if it's good or not, if it's correct or not, if it's honest or not. So yes, Roland, a pivotal moment. A probe is an investigation. Yeah, but the probe would be launched if the scrutiny gave the idea that there was something wrong with it, that there was some sort of problem. Okay, I don't get the feeling we're quite going to finish this today, but we're going to get close. Okay, so when the next bit comes up, I shall read it for you. Okay, so a probe and investigation, to pivot around, to hinge around. A pivot is a hinge. Yes, Energy, house to house is correct. Okay, Sunday. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh travels to the police incident room at his office in Putney to coordinate work on the Barnet inquiry. He asks colleagues for more particulars, niceties, features, details, and analysis of burglaries in the borough as detectives try to find possible links to the break-in, notice break-in, the burglary at Mrs. Wales' house. So, everybody's going, alien abductees get probed. Yes, absolutely. And we also wonder where. Everybody's here is going for detail. Vitaly, Cheyenne, Gabriel, Count, Ronan, Abira, Leferite, Human, Maria, all of you are going for details. And details is right. So Malem's suggested particulars. Normally the particulars are a person's name and address. So you go and talk to a policeman, and maybe the first thing he'll say is, can I have your particulars? Your name and your address. Yeah? And these are your particulars. I went to the hospital, and the first thing they asked for were my particulars. Niceties. Something that's a nicety is a small extra detail. Yeah? A fine detail that makes something more pleasant. For more features. It's not so. It could be features, but it doesn't really work. Good evening, Duania. So, I don't know. For people from Eastern Europe, having problems with A, an, and the is a feature of their English. Yeah, a feature film. His facial features, he's got a big nose and blue eyes and a dark complexion, and those are his features. Yeah, particulars, name and address. Maybe your phone number, your email. Yeah, it's so that you can actually get back to somebody. You can, further and better particulars. Okay, yeah, in that case, further and better particulars. Okay. Work is in... Oh, wow, it's quick for some people and not for others. So, delicacy, niceties, absolutely, Cheyenne. Work is intensifying to find two people who were marked, spotted, heeded, watched locally, and who looked similar to the suspects. It's a pleasure, Maria. So, good evening, arduous journey. So, who were? So Arduous says spotted, Vitali says spotted, Cheyenne says spotted, Left Right says spotted, Count says spotted, Maria says spotted. It looks like a unanimous decision here, not just a majority decision or something like that. Gabriel, Manji, Jerry go for spotted as well. Yes, to spot is to see something, to identify. Can you spot the mistake? Maria, Abira, Malem, Vic VG go for spotted as well. Yeah, to spot, to identify, to see. So they were spotted, they were seen. Roland and Human go for spotted as well. Who were marked? Well, I guess there was a mark on my arm, or maybe if you're playing football, somebody is marked. No, you don't mark somebody, you spot somebody. Yeah? To heed is to follow somebody's advice. So I want you to heed my advice, to listen to my advice and do it. Yeah, Renyard goes for spotted. So, yeah, heed my words, heed what I say, listen to it. Wow, that's all right. It's good. Maybe he could be right. And finally, to watch. To watch is much longer. To spot, ooh, look at that. Whereas to watch, you then watch what happens for a longer period of time. Yeah, you watch TV, or maybe you watch somebody to see what they do. Okay, the next one I love. It's still this set of words which are good. Okay, so yes, they were spotted locally. Can you spot the deliberate mistake? Heed, to listen to, yes. Mark the evening. Yeah, mark it down in your book, or I marked the homework. A lot of officers are involved in tracing the pair down, trailing the pair down, tracking the pair down, trailing the pair down, and it becomes a mini inquiry within the investigation. It takes a further 48 hours before detectives are satisfied that they're not linked to the case. So, tracking for Vitalia, Left Right, Gabriel, Cheyenne. Maria goes for trailing, and Count Beauty goes for tracing. Human goes for tracking. Malem for tracking, Count for tracking, Abira for tracking, Maria for tracking. Yes, notice I emphasize this down. So, a lot of officers are involved in tracing the pair, no down, to trace, to find out where they are. In trailing, if you trail somebody, you follow them. So the police car was trailing the car with the thieves, but not down. To track down, to find where someone is. And to tail is like to trail. To tail is to follow somebody as a tail. To track down. I'm trying to track down some people I met last week. I've lost my mobile phone. How do I track it down? Yeah, so to track down, definitely. To track something down. I need to track it down is a separable phrasal verb. Yeah, the difference between these track, trace, trail, and trail are quite difficult. Yeah, okay, so to trace, to find something that's difficult to find, to trail, to follow, to track, to know where something is. Okay, so here's the next one then. Police are also focusing their efforts on the local Iceland store. This is a shop where they sell frozen goods, where Ms. Whale used to do her shopping. They're scouring, scrubbing, flushing, scraping CCTV, closed-circuit television, for an image of her handbag, which was stolen in the break-in and is still missing. So yes, Anna G, pivots is definitely correct. So, scouring for Vitalia, Left Right, Cheyenne and Malem all choose that. Let's give Human and Gabriel also go for scouring. I think it's going to be a landslide victory for scouring. Good evening, Asif. Hi there. Nice to meet you. And Jerry also goes for scouring. And Roland, detectives failed to trace the fugitive. Yes, that's good. Yeah, they failed to track down the fugitive or to trace him. Good evening, Pepax. Okay, Count Beauty and Maria from Finland go for scouring. I think you're from Finland, Maria. I got that idea at least. Okay, so only one of these works. To scrub means to rub something, to scrub backwards and forwards. Yeah, I scrubbed the floor. To flush, to pour lots of water on something to clean it. I flushed the toilet. To scrape, I scraped the paint off the wall. To scour means to look for intensely. You use a metal scourer. To scour a pan, you scrub it very hard with wire wool. Okay, so to scrub. To rub, and notice the rub word there, to scrub, to rub backwards and forwards with a brush. To flush, you flush the toilet, to clean something with excess water. To scrape, I took a knife and scraped the paint off my arm. And then to scour, to look hard for you, for something. Okay, so to scour, it's like literally when you scour a frying pan, you take a piece of metal wool, it's to rub the surface very intensely. But we also use to scour, meaning to look everywhere for something. Okay, good evening, Mohamed Dumona. Watch it as well. Okay, so Subham goes for scouring as well. So let's go to the next one. Yeah, I've been scouring the shops for a copy of this book. I've been scouring the internet, but I just can't find the answer. Yeah, I've been scouring everywhere for my mobile phone, but I just can't find it. Yeah, maybe I lost it while I was scrubbing the floor. Yeah, okay, and the next one. They'll eventually find a photo of it, the handbag, and match it to a black leather like, so it's not leather, it's probably patent leather, handbag, which is discovered the following Thursday. Packed, loaded, stuffed, loaded, clogged in a hedge half a mile from Ms Wales' house. So we got a new one. Okay, that's very honest of you, VG. Some of these are very difficult. So, Vitali goes for clogged. Arduous goes for stuffed. Cheyenne goes for clogged. And unfortunately, I can't read your name. Ha ha ha. But that, to me, it looks like Japanese rather than Korean. Malem says stuffed. Jerry goes clogged. This is interesting. So we're between clogged and stuffed. Count Beauty goes stuffed. Arduous goes for stuffed again. And interesting. Ronan goes for stuffed. Leferite goes for stuffed. Maria goes for clogged. And I'll let a few more of you go. And then clogged for Asif. Gabriel goes stuffed. Abira goes clogged. Okay, I'm going to put you stuffed in, says Roland. And so I'm going to put you out of your misery. Clogged is not the right answer. If something is clogged, it's blocked. The sink is clogged. Yeah? The roads are clogged with traffic. Cholesterol can clog your arteries. To clog is to block up. Yeah? The water pipes are clogged. They're full of dirt, so it's not clogged. Blocked, no, it doesn't work. So, packed. To pack, you pack lots of things in a container or in the back of a van or your luggage. No. To load, you load a van or a lorry. Here the answer is bullet. Okay, great to have you with us, bullet. The answer is stuffed. Okay, to stuff is to push in. The chicken was stuffed with a mixture of onion and dried bread. Yeah, he stuffed as much as he could in his pocket. Shocked. No, shocked doesn't work, Asif. Okay, so to stuff. He stuffed his face, he stuffed his mouth. He put as much into it as he could. Yeah? So to stuff is to put something in somewhere. So here it's been clearly pushed into the hedge. Yeah? And that's the answer. Yeah? A stuffed animal. A taxidermist makes stuffs animals. Yeah, he fills them with things. Okay, so the bag was stuffed into the hedge. Yeah, clogged means blocked. Yeah, there's no free flow. The free flow was clogged. My bag is stuffed with clothes. That's perfect. Good. That's good. It's absolutely full to the top with clothes. Subham. Okay, and one more. Could this be the landmark, breakthrough, revelation, watershed detectives are waiting for? The bag is sent for forensic analysis. So notice the word analysis here. Yes, so could this be the landmark, breakthrough, revelation, watershed detectives are waiting for? So let's see. My wallet is stuffed with money. Okay, that's good. So let's see. Breakthrough for Gabriel, Vitali, Arduous, Human, Abira, Malem, Maria. Here. Filled with. And Count Beauty goes for breakthrough as well. Okay, let me look at these, because clearly you're right about this breakthrough. Yes, Ronan, breakthrough. Okay, a landmark is firstly something you can see. So the Big Ben is a landmark in London. The Trojan horse was stuffed with warriors. Absolutely, Renyard. Landmark is like a sightseeing building. Let's see, but you can also use it in a slightly different way. For me, getting 100,000 subscribers will be a landmark in my YouTube career. Passing the first certificate was his first landmark in learning English. No. So a landmark event, a significant event that marks progress. A watershed, I think watershed could actually work. A watershed is actually the point where, at the top of a mountain, where the water decides if it flows down this way or flows down another. So a watershed is a very important moment. When he started having classes with me, it was a watershed, the watershed of learning English. Okay, yeah, the Empire State's a landmark. So a watershed, an event that decides if something will go in one direction or another. So I think the Brexit vote was a watershed in British history, because it then dictated what happened. A revelation is something you discover that you didn't know, and somebody reveals to you. So the press are always trying to release revelations and scandals about politicians. So a breakthrough. Yeah, you break through, you discover something new, a scientific breakthrough. Yeah, is when a breakthrough is when you discover something new. Yeah, Yeah. A turning point is a watershed. Yes, a watershed's a turning point. Landmark is similar to a milestone. Absolutely, Arduous. That's good. So I like that. Landmark, milestone. Watershed, turning point. A revelation, when you suddenly discover something that you didn't know before. It was a revelation to him that his wife was having an affair. Yeah? So, a revelation, it's something that you suddenly discover that you didn't know. Yeah, the revelation then might be a watershed, a turning point. Milestone. A milestone is like the landmark. That's very good. So, thank you all so much for coming. I'm going to stop there. We're almost finished. How many more have I got? Yeah, there's enough. There are quite a few here. Let me actually just give you the link before I go. So thank you. Yes, a clue, a breakthrough, the key clue that they didn't know they had. That's the link to the original article. Let me go back to where I was. I'm here. Let me mark this so we can see it. Can the hell you say be used like this? I'm in charge of this branch. What I say goes. The hell you say. Yeah, you're not. That works. That works fine. Yeah. I don't agree with you. Yeah, you've just made a statement that I don't agree with. Is not true, Hunter. Okay. So that was the clue that they were waiting for. It was the breakthrough. Thank you, Mohamed. Okay, thank you all so much. You've been a great group as always. Take care of yourselves. I hope you all stay safe. And with a bit of luck, inshallah, I'll be back next week. Okay, so thanks a lot and bye for now.